Man stealing a couple of red buffs, a couple of kills here and there, but we're going to head into game number 2 between LGD and Vici to see if they can do the exact same thing they did at game number 1. As we take a look at the bans right away, Vladimir, Azir, and Victor are going to be banned out against Vici, whereas Vici still deciding on that final ban. Fizz and Lucian are going to be their 2 bans for now.
So Ryze was banned away in game number 1 from Vici. You would imagine if Vici didn't ban it, LGD would have picked it, and here we are.
The ban it once again, and we see this very common in the LPL right now. If Kindred is left open, blue side is going to pick it up as their first pick most of the time, and LGD do just that, locking in Kindred right away. Looks like they want Amy to play the champion this time around. Yeah,
big damage dealer Kindred. Of course, makes a lot of sense that they want the champion, but we didn't really see successful ganks out of LGD's jungler when he was playing it. Needs to step up this time. Showed improvements in game number 1. We'll see if he can do it again on the Kindred opposed to a Rek'Sai.
Well, this time, Vici, they want to show LGD how to run the red side picks. Going to try and follow the exact same thing LGD did in the previous champion select screen. They were hovering over Echo and Bard for now, swapping over to Swain. Have to see what they do lock in just a second, but a lot of very strong picks left open. We see Rek'Sai left open in jungle as well, Graves, all these other fantastic champions. Vici still have some time to decide what they want to pick up, and it does look like they're going to go with Echo and Bard for now.
Yeah, hovering the Swain, and rightly so, of course, knowing how strong Swain can be.
Yep.
But they still opt towards that Echo and Bard. Kind of, as you mentioned, giving that shout out to the opposition team that they beat when they were using these champions.
And we're going to see LGD lock in Thresh and Swain as their next 2 picks. So LG, you have to see if they run Swain unpunished one more time here, or if this time it's going to be Marion picking up in the top lane. But Yu's going to be playing Thresh down in the bottom lane, so looking to try and create some more playmaking abilities.
Yeah, and it's worth noting as well that we've actually got Xuan P in the roster for Vici, so they have still put that sub into effect. Something that we often see from these teams is they always use that 6th man in the second game. And there's our first lock-in.
Yep, Lissandra's going to be locked in for Easy Hoon, a favorite of his during the spring split, bringing it back out here in summer split. And we're just waiting for Xuan P to pick up his champion. And so that's something we could touch on a little bit here because, you know, Vici been experimenting with it. It feels, you know, putting him in game number 2, but we haven't seen the major differences just yet. There's been a little bit of contrast between the 2 AD carries. Hopefully we'll be able to see more as this split progresses.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope to explore further what they are both capable of as differing champion pools may well be it.
Yep, possibly with the Twitch pickup coming for Xuan P in this match. That's only with the Lucian being banned out, Ezreal still left on the table, Caitlyn's still up on the table as well. So, heavily prioritizing that Twitch pickup.
Yeah.
Taking away from Imp almost.
I mean, you would imagine that they go towards the Ezreal now, given that Twitch has been locked in, perhaps not the Caitlyn. Still, an amazing amount of options left for LGD. I don't think Imp would do that. If he does, tell you what, he's decided that this game is his, and his alone, to win.
Well, he's going to take down his signature champion somehow. But we are still waiting for LGD.
Oh my god, if he uses the Imp skin.
Ooh, if he picks up some white skin on Twitch, you know, add salt to the wounds a little bit. He's actually going to lock in the Vayne here. So Imp is out for blood. You saw the coach actually walk on over towards him. It looked like he was asking, are you sure? Are you sure? Imp, are you sure of this? And Gangplank is going to be a lock-in coming in for LGD as well. So we still have a toss-up between where Gangplank and Swain are going to go in this match.
Yeah, very confusing thus far to see what's going to happen with these comps. LGD running something sort of similar to what Vici had. They're lacking that tank, but Swain will have to make up for it. So you'd imagine punishes the Gangplank and Myron has to be the Swain now to compensate. Go like the Rod of Ages Spirit Visage style of build and be absolutely unkillable. On the flip side though, GP is still entirely capable of top laning.
Take a look at Vici waiting to pick up their final pick. They are hovering over Nidalee for now, but it should be a jungle pickup. Lots of options still open. No junglers were banned out, only Kindred taking away. Nidalee considered one of the S-tier junglers. Just below that we have Graves, Rek'Sai very commonly picked up in competitive play. And a couple of Gragas picks here and there as well, but it will be the Nidalee lock-in for Dandy here. So 2 of the strongest junglers in the current meta will be facing off in the Rift in this game.
Yeah, Nidalee making a lot of sense being with the Twitch as well, so you can heal the hyper carry when it comes to the teamfight stages. It also makes sense because they've got Lissandra and Echo in each respective side lane. being that they can set you up for a gank with crowd control. If Lissandra hits a W after the claw, the spear's always going to hit on the follow-up, and that's where the burst starts to get pretty ridiculous. In saying that, Gangplank, pretty nice niche pick in response to the Lissandra.
Certainly is. We're actually going to see that Gangplank being run in the mid lane here by LGD. So Punish going to be playing that champion this time round, and he's going to donate the Swain pick up towards Marin, who's facing off against Long, trying to show him how to play Echo in this match.
Yeah, so the Echo's on the other foot right now. Long kind of going to have to show a lot of respect, to be honest with you, to Marin. He's such a strong laner. Swain, very strong laner in saying that as well. This is where perhaps Dandy actually has to come into play, and Amy will have to respond. So we're potentially looking at the 2v2 with the top lanes as an option. But given the tendencies for LGD to lane swap, and given that they have a Vayne, would not shock me to hear that they don't want standard.
Very interesting picks and bans coming out from these two teams, but we're going to head on to Summoner's Rift in just a bit for Game 2 between Vici and LGD. Thank you, Marin, for helping us load onto the Rift for game number 2 between Vici and LGD. Currently, Vici are in the lead 1-0 after an impressive comeback in game number 1. LGD, that had a fantastic start, were not able to close out the game. Have to see if they're able to continue that great start they had in game number 2, but hopefully this time try and close things out for themselves.
Closing's the most important part, Fish. Absolutely need to work on that.
So we take a look at the the Keystone Masteries very quickly. Nothing too surprising. We do see the Fervor battle one more time onto the Echo in the top lane.
GP though, he's gone for Thunderlords. That is something I wouldn't consider standout, but definitely different.
Not
Usually
Grasp.
Grasp of the Undying, yeah. Is seen for sustain in lane for a bit of trading potential as well. Usually couple that with the Bandit. What I'm seeing at the moment from Punished is that it's something that's not easy to actually proc. To actually get that Thunderlords working, he now needs to be very particular with his trades. Also running the very cute, efficient GP build, as it were, labeled, starting with a Mana Crystal, so that he can get his early buy on a Sheen and have more lane pressure.
We'll have to see how Punish can use that. He does have teleports, so it's possible to farm it up as soon as possible and then get back into the lane ASAP. You see 4 teleports on Summoner's Rift in this game. Already starting off easy here, trying to zone away the ghostly Gangplank. Punish looking to see where he can start farming or poking out on his own. But we are going to see standard lanes, and most importantly, coming into this game. No, actually, no, we're not. We're going to see a swap. That is actually a Bard, not an Echo.
Yeah, so what we've seen is it's a Twitch Bard against a Thresh Vayne. Now, both of the AD carries are average laners at best.
Yep.
But both of the supports are very strong laners. So the question comes down to personal preference for these teams. Perhaps Vici thought that they were going to be matching a lane swap. They thought that the Vayne would always lane swap, which they do. But LGD could have mind-gamed it. Perhaps they wanted standard, however, as they know Thresh is good into Bard. Again, it's very much personal preference this time around.
Long actually going to find you inside of his own jungle. He's making his way towards Dandy to try and help him out with his clear times. You just trying to be an absolute pest. Try and stop them from getting further and further into this jungle. But they're able to clear out the camps fast enough. Meanwhile, Marin and Amy, going to be able to do the same thing now on the bottom side of the map.
You would imagine it's a pretty sucky position for a Swain to be in when it comes to a lane swap. Definitely wants that farm, wants the early Rod of Ages, whereas Lung can afford to do this and farm with his jungle partner in Dandy this time around. So perhaps a small mistake or unfortunate outcome for LGD, which is once again perhaps why they wanted standard lanes, so that Marin could win his, but not to be.
Now we're going to check back in towards the mid lane. Punished here. He's keeping up in CS quite nicely against Easy Hoon so far. In fact, actually trading quite nicely there. Gets the barrel down.
Yeah, the problem with that trade is you're using all 3 of your kegs. It takes you like 10 seconds to set up as well. It does show, however, that Easyhoon is respecting the gangplank at least to some extent in this middle lane early.
Now we can see the progression of the lane swap here as Vici already working on taking down the top lane out
Whoa,
of turret.
LGD, that's a deep, deep lane swap.
Yeah, the LGD looking to actually try and match this one back up. Dandy going to head back to base here. Imp, he's heading up towards the top lane now, so LG trying to stop the lane swap.
Yeah, one of the few teams that often want this LGD. Once again, we question if they want standard lanes or not. Obviously they do. And what they've also done is put Marin down by himself in that bottom lane early. Or probably force the teleport out of Lung to match. And whilst Lung might have a slight advantage, perhaps in the way of items or a pink ward to boot, it does also mean that he's going to be quite behind in experience. And it's actually a very clever move here from LGD across the board.
We'll have to see if that's able to get LGD the advantage they need on Marin to get into this game. For now, though, things are relatively even. We'll have to wait a couple more minutes to take track of the score at the moment. Punish, though, running out of mana in this mid lane. Would have to go back to base as soon as possible. Mana Crystal proving it's worth keeping him there for a little bit of time. Easyhoon has not been able to poke him out just yet. It's dead even in CS in this mid lane.
Yeah, thankfully kegs don't cost mana, so he's going to be okay in the way of, like, you can't dive him. But naturally, not having the mana pool there means inefficient stacking of his Q, so the gold that he gets, or the silver serpents, whichever you prefer, will be very rarely seen. And he wants that sheen. He can definitely afford it.
Vici, meanwhile, they've actually swapped back into a lane swap kind of lane. So you see Imp and Yu, they're actually taking on Lung up in the top lane, so Echo's going to be sent up there trying to farm it out wherever possible. Meanwhile, they do have Shen P and Caveman in the bottom lane, trying to put some pressure on towards Marin, who throws the lane quite close towards his turret and actually picked up quite a bit of CS for himself. He's 27-9 at the moment, but here's a teleport from Lung, looking to try and dive them down in the bottom lane. Marin taking a lot of damage. Here comes another teleport. Easy, flashes forward, gets the double stun down, and they're going to be able to find first blood onto Marin.
Yeah, 2 teleports used and Easyhoon flashes, but that's absolutely the right move. Marin, way too deep, and yes, Amy was aware that it was happening. He'd taken the Krugs, he'd set himself up as close as possible to where he needed to be, but Punish hadn't recalled. Still, with no mana pool to speak of, couldn't even drop his ultimate now that he's level 6. It's just disaster, honestly, for LGD this early, because that big lead that Marin has is kind of going to waste.
Let's see how much that's able to affect him. He was able to hold on to his summoner spells, and now for the next 5 minutes or so, we will see that LGD have their teleports available. It's the none that Vici have at the moment, so possibly could try and return the favor and make a play of their own. For now, though, Yu looking to be aggressive here, trying to shoo Lung out of his bottom lane.
Yeah, just pushing him off. Absolutely. The minions are all imps, and none of them are Lungs. The question is where they react from here, to be honest, because you can see the Twitch and Bard still committing to that lane.
Yep.
All it really says is that we've got the weirdest mismatch start to this laning phase that could ever possibly happen to Vici.
I think some saving grace as well. The kill did go on over towards Caveman, so don't really want that gold onto support for now. Does even up the lane quite nicely. But Marin, though, he's getting jumped on by Caveman one more time. Doesn't get the slow or the stun down there. But they were looking to be aggressive, trying to zone him away one more time.
Yeah, the idea is zone him at the very least. But Boots of Swiftness kind of make it hard to catch Marin. Of course, being a Twitch Bard, they need the Bard stun to hit as well. The follow-up's a little bit lacking from a Twitch. As the flip side still being that Lung is doing nothing at the moment. In fact, he's now double jungling again.
He's level 3 to level 5 on Marin at the moment. So a big experience disadvantage for Lung. Going to see what he can do to get back into this game. For now, he's moving back towards the top lane, trying to help his AD carry support out.
Still a disastrous start for Lung. He was a big carry in that first game on the Trundle, and it was important that he was still doing well.
Dandy going to take a cake to the face there. Punish going to pop that one, chunk down the jungler. But Vici now looking towards the top lane outer turret as LGD looking to try and take down the Infernal Drake with Yu and Amy.
It's going to hurt them, but it'll definitely go down. As again, one of the strengths of Gangplank, now very much prevalent, as you can see.
Just pops his ultimate up in the top lane, able to clear out that entire wave and stop Vici from following up, as the next dragon to spawn will be a Mountain Dragon. That's a 8-minute dragon for LGD, showing they still want to prioritize this objective in Game 2.
Yeah, quite an early Drake taken, so once again, not too bad here for LGD as they've started on the right foot to an extent once more.
Easy
Whoa,
You looking for it there. Casual sidestep from Easy It's going to be able to keep himself alive.
Keyword casual, because he didn't sidestep it, you expected it. When you make a flash obvious, it becomes a 50-50. So, curious stuff from you. He outplays himself.
For now, though, Vici and LGD, they're going to be able to trade outer turrets. As we see Long, he took down the top lane outer turret. The bottom lane outer turret for the side of Vici is incredibly low. We'll have to see if LGD can make one final push to take it down. Bard trying to run down the lane as fast as possible and stop that from happening, whereas Amy looking to try and take away the red buff on LGD's side of the map.
Yeah, still proving that he's got what it takes to play Kindred as a jungler, but with a 0-0-0 scoreline. Does feel quite similar, eerily similar to what has happened in the past, as this is absolute disaster. He's almost dead.
Long had to flash away there. Myron level 6 to level 4 Echo. He's 20 CS behind this Swain at the moment. Things are just not going well as Punish just gets both his cakes blown up by the ice switch.
He just misplayed massively.
Speak about outplaying yourself.
Yep, it's not ideal.
Teleport being used here by Long up into the top lane, try and pick up whatever remains of this CS. Desperately trying to find some experience and some farm for himself. He's sitting on a Spectre's Cowl and his Dark Seal with the Corrupting Potion.
Punish is having a very bad time.
Now he's starting to slowly fall behind Easyhoon in this lane.
One of the cool things about Lissandra, I will say, is the Rod of Ages / Catalyst changes kind of complement her laning phase. Remember, every time you trade with someone, you get health back when you expend mana. It's pretty gnarly.
This could be disastrous for Long here as Marin and Amy sitting up towards the top side of the map. Dandy is here trying to protect his top laner. Long going to take a lot of damage from Marin here. Here comes the bird. Teleport actually being used here. Easy here looking for something. The spear is not going to connect. There goes the claw. Looking for Amy. They lock him down. He can't use his ultimate. Yes, he can. Gets out of the crowd control just in time. Incredibly low. It's Long. Going to be able to heal up. Dives forward. Is able to take down Amy. He gets taken down by the parlay coming out from Punish. And they're still looking for more. It's Easy here now. He has to run away. There's the cake. The slow comes down from the Swain. Not going to be enough. And Punish misses that cake. Easy here is going to get out of there alive.
And quite frankly, not good enough from Punish, but the end result still being members alive from Vici. Dandy, with what little mana he had, is enough to zone away. The turret, too scary of a prospect once more. LGD still showing some positives. The end result always just seems to backfire on them.
And Easyhoon was almost able to lock down Amy before the Lamb's Respite came out. That was almost a saving grace, so to speak, for LGD. If not, that would have been an easy pickup for the lineup. But for now, it is in Vici's favor. They're about 1,000 gold ahead at the moment, with Big Wave crashing the bottom side of the map for Vici.
Him still kicking at OG as well. Maxing the Q first on the Vayne. Deciding that it's his best option. You do get more tumbles in naturally, but the W seems to be the preference with current item builds rushing attack speed. We'll see what he goes, because it looks like just Blade first.
I did not know that. I thought all Veins were still maxing that Q. So thank you, Rusty.
Oh, you're welcome.
He is looking towards picking up the Blade of the Ruined King, it seems. Does have the recurve bow, as well as the Vamp Scepter. The components being picked up. Meanwhile, Shen Shenpi looking to try and pick up a Yomu's Ghost Blade. It seems pretty standard item on Twitch at the moment.
Standard, but also a little bit different to what every Twitch does. Some actually prefer going for a slightly different build with a Hurricane involved, because Dandy's just giving it to him.
Amy taking a lot of damage, flashes forward, or pounces forward, I should say. Absolutely executes Amy inside of his own jungle.
The longest pounce in history was just witnessed, ladies and gentlemen. As Kindred dashed at the exact same time, and he went the whole way and just destroys him. Dandy is big.
Well, we talked a lot about how Amy has to do something for LGD, and that something is probably not going to be dying inside of your own jungle.
Yeah, that's why I liked when he was playing Rek'Sai's. This is an interesting situation.
Dandy and Easy trying to siege up that mid lane outer turret. It's down incredibly low. Not going to be able to get it on that way, but should be able to get it shortly. You looking for a death sentence here. Casually, Shen Shenpi is going to be able to pick up all the hot cocoa, heal himself back up.
Yeah, not enough keg play as well in that middle lane from Vici. If they actually killed the kegs, perhaps there was the tower going down or punished even in a diveable position. But he kind of just walks it out. As you do. It will die.
Cattle Crab taken down by Shanshapi as a turret is finally taken down in the mid lane for Vici. So now they lead in terms of turrets killed 2-1. Dandy going to get locked down by the Never Mover. Easy Hoon's here to try and secure this blue buff. Marin wants it. The birds are going to come out. Not going to be enough to take it down. Dandy, although, is forced to smite that away.
Yeah, it was about to reset, so he had to smite it. Otherwise, they would have been there for far too long.
Flip side of the map, Amy looking to try and take down Vici side of the blue buff here. We'll be able to smite it away. Did it go over to it? Yes, it did. So Amy able to pick that one up.
He's not done. Kind of just meandering around.
This is a change. Long now, a level behind Marin. He's going to try and take it to him. Marin incredibly low on mana, so Echo does have the upper hand in that sense.
A big investment of gold towards Boots of Swiftness as well. So when you stack that magic resistance, you're always feeling okay on Echo. A slight edge, but that will backfire quite quickly. The closer that we get to a Rod of Ages on Marin, as Amy's just chilling on a ward.
Finally is able to sweep that away. But for now, Vici, they're looking to try and take a dragon of their own. We saw this in the last game. Now looking towards that Mouse Dragon. Wards have been put down. They're able to spot that one out. Danny looking to try and take it down as fast as possible. Yu, though, he's in position to try and pull a miracle off. Danny does have his smite and will be able to smite it away. And the next dragon to come up will be another Infernal Dragon.
Yeah, so something that LGD definitely have to look towards. And as such, you would imagine a lot of emphasis will be there for Vici in the same respect. You can't give over 2 Infernals for nothing.
Move back towards the mid lane as we take a look at the items as well. Punished, already a big spike. Got his Trinity Force up and available. Easy Hoon at the same time does have his Rod of Ages complete. Unlike Marin, still sitting on the components for now on his Swain.
And both teams this time around kind of running similar strategies in comparison to Game 1. This is the big alteration in it that Marin should be doing well against Lung given how the game had started. But if Lung keeps starting to manhandle him to an extent, then Vici are actually quite content with what's going on. The only major flip side is that Xuen wants to team fight, whereas Imp's pretty content with just getting the 2v2 or the 1v1, being Vayne naturally. But we'll see what breaks out. I think if a 1-3-1 breaks out, Vici have the upper hand simply because Vayne sitting in a mid lane, not too great.
Well, let's see if they can do that, because Shen Shenpi are looking to try and get the jump onto these carries. The pink ward should be able to spot them out. Here comes a very deep ward on the side of Vici. Their caveman getting it locked down, takes a lot of damage. They're able to flash in a nice direction. Easy Good locks down him, but there's a 4-man stack from LGD. Good Temper Fate locks down 3 members. Here comes Long. They take down Yu, but Marin dealing so much damage along with Amy, trying to pounce left and right. LGD should be able to pick up this team fight. It's Long desperately trying to run away from him. He's going to be able to take him down. That's a 4-for-1 trade in favor of LGD.
And walking towards the Vayne is never ideal. LGD actually teleporting with quite nice timing. They push away the Twitch. As this is an interesting walkthrough of the mid lane.
MV Pink is the pink ward up in that top lane, able to spot out that Twitch submarine coming in. Amy, though, able to casually, jump away from that spear. LGD looking towards trying to get some damage down onto this outer turret. Gold still dead even between these teams after that fight, but we take a look at the replay, Rusty.
Yeah, once again, Xuan was noticed and Caveman comes in. So they just destroy Caveman's health bar before he can really react. Easier has to flash on it, but look at the double teleport from Punished and Marin and how Xuen, the Twitch, had nothing to do but die. When Easy Hoon had flashed earlier, so no health bar to speak of, and a surprisingly convenient condemn, as Imp finishes this fight with essentially full health, except for the afterburst of Lung.
So big team fight for LGD there. You can take a look at the damage dealt. Punished put on some work. We mentioned he was, not being peeled away from Shen Shenpi in that team fight, was absolutely able to slaughter him.
Yeah, I think the major difference as well when we're looking at that is whilst Easy Hoon did a lot of damage, he's committal CC now. Like, he has to be in the middle of the fight to do that damage. And yes, it was a lot. But really, the Twitch did nothing. And so they started this fight in an awkward spot where Vici were kind of getting a flank, and then the teleports from LGD flanked them. They need that Twitch to be relevant, as Lung is just dead. That's
the Popper's ultimate trying to run away, but Imp is just going to be able to chase him down slowly and steadily. He does have his Blade of the Ruin King as well as that Zeal. That's just looked too easy from him.
No, it's the same thing as everything that's happened so far. As
Dandy.
That's deep punish.
Jumped on. He was looking for a punish. Definitely trying to take down Dandy, but not quite able to do so.
A lot of damage, however. All the crits connecting from just the Trinity Force and the crit cloakers. Hello, Twitch.
Twitch is going to pop out, puts down the spray and pray to rat-a-tat-tat. And he's able to take him down. Good summary play for Vici, able to get a pick for themselves and pull back the kill that was taken down by Imp at the bottom lane.
And this is exactly what we expected from LGD as the response, though. Imp doesn't want to group up. If he does, then you would call it almost a mistake. The ideal scenario for LGD is they fight where Imp is, because both members of the team teleport in to assist him. But the Twitch, he has higher capabilities.
They're looking for a fight. Temper Fake going to force a flash from you here. Amy going to be able to just casually dodge out of it.
Yeah, proactive stuff, though. Once again from Vici.
Dead even in this game, though. Vici, they were far behind the previous match and were able to take the game to LGD during the late game. This time around, you look at LGD's team comp, a Vayne, a Gangplank, and a Kindred as well. These are very scary late game champions.
Yeah, they absolutely are. I think both teams actually have quite strong late games. I'm
Twitch
still looking at Lung, though, because he is a non-factor.
80 CS to 116 on the side of Marin. Doesn't have a single kill yet. It's died 3 times, only barely been able to pick up 3 assists. Hasn't even completed a single major item. His counterpart Marin already got his Rod of Ages stacking here. Vici, though, looking to try and take down this bot lane out turret. Should be able to take it down. Shoshi will get the final auto attacks off and take the magical journey to safety. As the Dragon's going to be spawning about 40 seconds here, and that is the second Infernal Drake.
Yeah, so the second Infernal Drake. You would imagine both teams now with about 30 seconds want to recall, actually bolster their strength, and what that always indicates is that they want to fight. They absolutely do. If Easyhoon gets the Zonias, it could be fight changing as well. Means that initiation that you're committing towards is a bit safer for you. They've got 2 big items on the Twitch. And whilst Vici lost that last team fight, the gold's still close enough that they're absolutely ready to go. They just need to kill people before Lung's lack of tankiness becomes an issue.
And it feels like a lot of big spikes on Vici right now. Dandy also got that rise. You mentioned 2 big items on Twitch. Zonya's on Easyhoon as well. This team fight could be really good for Vici if they could force LGD to fight now.
So to contrast that though, remember there is a lack of items actually there completed for LGD. They've gone mid sort of tier items. They've got a Hex Drinker. That's nice, but it's not enough. Spirit Visage isn't fully there. Infinity Edge isn't there. He's actually gone for a longsword in between it, perhaps for a Hex Drinker of his own. There is a QSS though for Imp. That man is going to be very difficult to kill.
Hopefully going to be able to keep himself alive against Easyhoon. Flash from Marin, respecting the claw. But meanwhile, LGD, they're able to take down the second Infernal Dragon of the game. Vici not going to be able to contest that at all.
And that's unfortunate because Vici definitely should have. You can see how aggressive they're looking.
Temper Fate not going to be able to connect on anyone. Dandy now going to get absolutely obliterated as Imp picks up that kill. Now Caveman is stuck inside the Gangplank ultimate. Shen P comes out of stealth just to find an Imp running in towards his face. No flash available in the vein, but he's fast enough to run away. The claw's going to come up easy, but that's probably going to be his death. He has to flash over the wall. There goes Amy over the wall. The ultimate's going to come out from the Hood trying to stop him. The kegs aren't going to be enough, but still LGD find the Dragon and 2 kills for themselves.
And such a poor decision from Vici. This 1v1 is basically non-existent, so we can ignore that it's happening unless Lung wants to die. The team fight that just broke out was on the back end of a Dragon already being taken. Why on earth did LGD just get that for free when Vici's best case scenario is fighting for the objective? Myron wasn't even there.
Marin blew his flash on top of that as well. Just from the claw coming out from Easyhoon, then suddenly things are really looking good for LGD. They do have a nice gold lead. They're about 1,500 gold ahead, but importantly for me anyway, it's going to be 2 Infernal Drakes for their lineup.
Yeah, it's like 720 gold, maybe even more. This is just... Ugh.
Shen just going to get dived here by Imp. He's probably going to pay for it with his life, but Imp probably happy with that.
You know what? Lung got a shutdown. Lung got red buff as well, so all things considered, it's not that bad. What they are saying, however, is Imp being very talkative on camera is, why are you guys not doing anything? And I'll tell you why, because they're in base, Imp. They're in base.
Talk to your team, Imp. You know, communication before you die, not after.
Nah, communicate after. Just make sure you die at the right time. That's like a 1-for-1 as a Vayne against the Twitch is technically still worth it, right? But here's a 5-0 Vayne against what was a 1-2 Twitch beforehand. Guy's just a man.
Imp, though, he's been able to pick up his Phantom Dancer, so another major item pickup for the Vayne.
Yeah, Vayne is big. Vayne's huge. In comparison, I think Twitch will still do a lot of damage if he can get to the right place at the right time. See how non-impactful that red buff is now that Spirit Visage is completed.
Marin just going to be able to pop his ultimate, heal up all the damage, or really whatever damage he put down.
So Marin turned off his ult, and that's why Lung had a slight edge in this trade. Now
just
that it's back
on.
Yeah, now that it's back, he just run away. Rinse and repeat, lose lane. That's the way that Lung's playing at the moment.
He's still quite far behind in terms of CS at the moment. Lung's still looking to be that aggressor against Marin here, but it's just not doing anything for him right now. As Imp, he's moving up towards top lane.
I will say it's because there's no teleport for Lung that he's being aggressive, because if Marin ever finds an opportunity to go somewhere else on the map, then it'll actually be disastrous for Vici. So Lung has two choices. Sit there and fight him, or not be there at all.
Easy Hoon, they're going to get jumped on here. Marin looking to try and put down the Never Move. He's going to get locked down. Easy Hoon has to pop the ultimate onto himself, but there's so many members of LGD here. Zhonya's will be put down, but that should be a pick going to pull out.
Nice.
And a nice ultimate coming up from the bard. It's going to be able to keep the Lissandra alive. Vici somehow saved their mid laner.
Caveman comes up so clutch in that fight. Easy Hoon does have teleport, but remember, no ultimate, no flash to be seen. He was definitely at a threat of dying. Tell you what, that was awesome from Caveman.
That was beautiful. Good coordination between mid laner and support there. Able to save his life, costing him a lot of spells though. Zhonya's used, Lissandra ultimate used as well, Temper Fate being used there too. So LG do have a window of opportunity to capitalize on it. We'll see if they are able to do so.
Problem is there isn't a whole lot to capitalize on available to them on the map. Once again, the next Drake's going to be a mountain, which means you would still think that both teams want it. We'll see if Vici can actually set up better for it this time, as the window has arrived. Being a window of opportunity, not just a window. Like, there's no window here.
No windows in Summoner's Roof?
I don't
Is Magical
think so.
Journey a window into another dimension?
It's a journey.
Ah, okay.
It's not called Magical Window.
It should be.
Maybe if it was a window, it should be. Like, not going to argue with that.
But now, though, Teleport actually going to get used in the mid lane and cancelled as the mid lane out turret gets taken down by LGD. They even up the towers taken by both teams and also pick up a 2,000 gold lead for themselves.
And they force Easy Hoon's teleport, so he can't afford to split push. Lung, even without that teleport, can barely afford to do it himself. It should be there by the time the Drake is up, though. So,
taking a look at Long, he's picked up two big items for himself. Does have the Spirit Visage and the Iceborne Gauntlet right now, as well as the Ruby Crystal. So trying to get more tanky as this game progresses, but he's still 40 CS behind Marin at the moment, who has his own Spirit Visage and the Rod of Ages, and also looking towards his Zhonya's Hourglass next.
yeah, so top lane's kind of just a lost cause at the moment. Looking between Lung and Marin, they're both just going to be teleport options for the team. I will say it's going to be near impossible to kill Marin. Lung always going to be at threat of dying, and this is just what Vayne does to you. It means anyone on your team can die very easily. I just think that Vici are probably going to struggle to teamfight, which is something they want to be doing. That GP is huge.
Certainly is. A lot of people on the side of LGD are huge at the moment. You see the Infinity Edge picks up on Gangplank already. Stated probably looking towards Yoma's Ghostblade or Essence Reaver coming in for him.
Who, sorry?
Okay, GP.
I'd probably go more, yeah.
More also picked up.
Yeah, it needs the Hex Drinker.
You can see Imp as well. He's already got two major items right now, as well as that QSS, but he's 5-1-3. He's known as the carry for the side of LGD, and he's definitely trying to put on his carry pants with his Vayne in this match. Mountain Dragon, has spawned here. Vici already picked up one Mountain Dragon in his hand. Definitely would want to pick up another.
Got him.
Spear's going to land onto you. Actually slows down Amy slightly too with the Ludus proc.
Finally on the ball, though, with timing here, Vici. They were given their 2 minutes notice, and they actually reacted.
Marin does have his teleport and is split pushing up in the top lane. So
the
longer this takes, the more time Marin has to push it out. But now Vici going to work on trying to take down this dragon. Gangplank actually caught between mid lane and bottom lane. There is the teleport as a flank. There's you. Going to flash forward, finds Caveman with the hook. He flashes out, takes a magical journey as well. Imp though, he's getting blown up. Lung trying to take him down. He's going to get jumped on by Shempi. They take down Imp, and now he's going to go back into the fight. Punish, try to do whatever he can. It's not going to land the kegs. Lung will jump back in with his ultimate and find a great team fight for Vici. They only lose the Twitch, and they find 3 kills in that that fight.
Literally somehow near the blue buff gets them the dragon. I have no idea how that happened, but absolutely impeccable team fighting out of Vici. Easy Hoon gets on the right target, and even though Imp's QSS was near pixel perfect, and I do hope we see a replay of that because that was unreasonably quick, he still dies. They have the damage. You can't QSS that damage. Vici get on the priority target, and they make sure that he dies, and that's how they win their team fight.
They're able to pull back the gold lead as well with the 2 Mountain Dragons. It's definitely looking good for them, but look at this. So much damage coming out from Punish and Imp in that team fight. It's just not enough.
No, it's not enough. Punish did his job, but it was kind of an afterthought at the end of the fight. That's, you know, yeah. That's nailed it. There it is. No, there it's gone. There it is. So, we didn't see the QSS. That's unfortunate. But Shen did flash over the wall to take out Imp. You can see the damage Punish is doing. I'm still confused as to how Nidalee got that.
Did he walk into a trap?
Was it a trap? It must have been a trap.
Must have been a trap.
Runic Echoes proc got it?
Actually, yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Just got the mountain streak.
I'm going to go home and watch that replay later because that was amazing. So far, though, Dandy going to get actually locked down by a hook. Then Nidalee going to heal herself up, trying to run away. Shen P, spray and pray, rat-a-tat-tat onto so many members. Gets a double kill. Long trying to keep Imp occupied, but Marin and Imp going to be able to do a lot of work here as the Tempered Fate's going to be able to lock down that Swain. They trade 1 for 2.
And Imp and Marin against the world. They do push them back. That Twitch damage was starting to get ridiculous, and he hasn't got his 3rd item yet. Once that Infinity Edge is there, that's the potential lights-out choke point that you don't want LGD to fight in. Remember, we're looking at a Vayne against the Twitch. Fighting in that particular area could spell disaster. We still have a game on our hands because Vici has shown that resilience. The stars have even aligned with Dragon takes. That's now 2 mountains against 2 fires.
We weren't able to see what the next one will be here. Hopefully we'll be able to see when that spawns. But for now, I want to really take a look at the items here because we talked about Twitch having a big item pickup or waiting for his next big item pickup. Merkel's Scimitar being picked up by Imp here, so extra movement speed when he uses that QSS. So it's a little bit more damage. Easy Hoon though, he's got his Void Staff picked up and a Negatron cloak, so probably going towards the Abyssal Scepter next. As well as Dandy, he's got his Rylai's picked up, looking towards another needlessly large rod item here. We'll have to see what he decides to pick up. But so far, Vici, you know, picking up some good items here and there. LGD still look like they in between builds. As Moore was completed by Punish earlier, now only has a Zeal here, so probably a rapid fire cannon.
For Punished?
For Punish or an Essence Reaver?
Could be, I'd say, look, it's not an Essence Reaver item.
Sell it, get the Essence Reaver instead.
Unless he's getting a second Trinity Force with that Health Crystal, I think it's just going to stay at a Zeal for now. Ideally, it'd be like a Static Shiv perhaps, or a Rapid Fire Cannon. Phantom Dancer if you really feel like trading. Really, he just has it for crit.
Aegis of the Legion being picked up by you. And we see Bard being played by Caveman. He's got the Locket of the Iron Solari, as the Infinity Edge has already been picked up by Shen P.
Yeah, that's a very important pickup. Definitely noteworthy. And if the Twitch gets a team fight off where he's hitting more than 1 member, that team's pretty much dead.
And this game is the definition of dead even. 2 dragons each, 3 towers each, 11-11 by Caveman. He might get taken down. Punish going to take a lot of damage there. Lock him down. Solari going to help him out, but Punish Ultimate is going to be able to take down Caveman in the back lines. Kegs are going to be put down. Shen P trying to get rat-a-tat-tat onto members. You, though, is going to get taken down. They trade supports here,
Imp's
but
in.
Imp, he's going to jump on the Shen P. They take down the AD carry. Vici suddenly on the back foot, trying to retreat away. Easy puts the claw down, trying to get out of there. Imp desperately tries to kite away from the spears, and LG look towards pushing down the mid lane.
Yeah, forced recalls. If Marin can stop their backs, which he only stopped 1 of, I'm not sure if Vici can respond here at all. They have to walk the long way. That is a turret. Absolutely well done once again from LGD. Punished, playing surprisingly well and showing us what he's actually capable of.
Made a couple of mistakes early in the game with his cake play, but
he does it every game. That's what we're seeing from him at the moment.
Teamfight's been able to pull it off so far. Easy Hoon trying to be a little bit cheeky here, waiting inside the bush. Scuttle Crab. Okay, takes a Luna's prop. Might actually bait them out. Here comes a claw coming in from Easy Hoon. Decides to run away.
I'm not sure what that was.
He's going to try and chase him. That's to actually flash away.
Don't use your claw to go for a Scuttle Crab. Imp has a QSS. He'll just run at you. Oh well.
That's exactly what it is. The 6-2 and 4 Vayne looking really strong so far. That was a crucial pick onto Shen Shenpi while he was trying to chase down Punished.
Yeah, it was. Amy's still having a pretty bad time. And once again, the deciding factor of a lot of these games has been Amy's presence. 0-3-4, behind 30 CS. Hasn't got many marks either. You can see one's available at the Wolves. He's just the weak link of this team in game number 2.
In about 20 seconds, Dragon number 5 will spawn here. And it's going to be a Cloud Dragon coming up. So no more stacking of the major buffs here, but would still give them a huge advantage if either of these teams able to take down Elder Dragon when that spawns. And that Dragon is going to be live. So far, neither team making their way towards it.